Hello everyone, welcome to dmetalgalaxy YouTube channel where we bring live reviews, interviews, metal news and much more into the living room. Here is our second thing on our Dutch adventures. Anneke Giersbergen live gig. Unfortunately, as it was in a theater, we weren't able to shoot any videos or pictures, but here is a live review. After seeing Anneke for the fourth time, I'm going to share my experience with you, the viewer, and if her new concept, heavy strings, was want to be or not. So grab your booze and stay tuned. Before I dive in if it was want to be, let's talk first. What is heavy strings? So heavy strings is like a dedication to Metallica 40 years of anniversary, and I hope I translated correctly in English, because the whole concept was to play like classical anthems like Gunsroses, Metallica. Very tour was born out of when talk show asked Anneke if she wanted to sing Nothing Else Matters as dedication to Metallica's 40 years and she was asked to sing this with a strinquarter, which is like a string quartet. See the picture in what the instrument is. And yeah, after this experience, Ruud Peters was being asked if he can make like an arrangement composition, and this is how the idea of this whole tour was born. He started as well to compose and yeah, basically make arrangement from other rock anthems like Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden, but as well from Anneke's own personal favorite hero, Mastodon. And this is how the collaboration was born. And on the base of this collaboration, a whole tour to Heavy Strings were put together where a few classical metal rock songs were basically played, but this is how the tour came to be. So let's see if this was want to be or not. So yeah, first of all, the location I went was to Theather Lampengiet, which is next to my home, handy. And yeah, in this theater it was very great and a very odd experience, I would say, for Irish people. For me, it's something I'm actually searching here on Irish Soul, is the very fact of having like seating concert where you have a few seats and then like a podium, and on this podium you have like a piano and like four people on seats, on chairs, playing like the cello, string quartet, and then you have Anneke with a microphone, and it's like with closed door, you're not allowed to go out, and it's funny, you can have some wine, some beer in your sitting, but you can as well order some, yeah, now it gets difficult because it's very Dutch, but you can have this board of food, so you can have bitterballen and so on, very typical Dutch. And that stuff you can have there, and I think it's nice because it's not like a metal gig you are going, it's not like pop gig, it's something between, and I really love it how it's actually Anneke who drew me into pop, but as well it's interesting how much influences she gets from different musicians, and that's so unique, and how this musical worlds like overlap and so on, and as a result you see like very different kind of audience. And I love it because I think it's want to be, and it's like, I love metal gigs, don't get me wrong, but like going to every gig, going to same people, having the same atmosphere, it's not, it's a bit repetitive. And when you go in this theater with closed door and you see different people, you have just a different experience. And it's super cool how she opened, because there were like bit, yeah, it's maybe not cloudy, but like the lights were very different and they were centered in the middle, so I really loved it. And it was great how she made the songs. The first song, Maybe I'm Too Young, from Fate No More, very dark and lights came, and was super interesting as well how Anneke started. She didn't interact, she interacted I think at the second song, but it was super interesting to see how musically gifted she is. She was ordering like this with her fingers to stop the quartet, and you saw as well the moments that she went on the side, let the quartet do their work, and then she started to sing or she closed the song, and it was super nice how she knew exactly when to sing, when to stop, when to let the instrumental part do their work, and it's super well timed, and it's like a technicality you have, and Anneke has definitely this, but like in other gigs where she was doing prog metal, fear, like more Madonna tour, which was centered about her career, you didn't see this kind of this side of Anneke, and this is super nice because every time you go to see Anneke, she completely amazes you. She does completely different. Actually, she's working, check it out on our website, but actually she's working again on a very different tour. Perhaps we might cover it. So yeah, this tour was differently. So after 4 times seeing Anneke, being this my 4th time, I was like, whoa, like this is so great. I didn't know this, that Anneke can do this, basically. And I know she's gifted, but I mean, the way that she was like playing by ear and adjusting herself to the quartet, it was really well done, and I really enjoyed to explore and cover a different side. And that's why I say Anneke is an artist that you have to go every time, because every time you will learn a small bit of Anneke, a small other musical bit. You will hear a different side, and each kind of gig is not repeatable. So next time you see Anneke, go there. And here the second song was much more familiar because it was Iron Maiden Trooper, and I love the way how she sung it. It was so differently as the other songs he made, because each song was a classical. So you had Scorpion, you had Metallica, Gunsroses. There was even AC/DC like Thunderstruck. The audience was warped up. She made as well like contacts with the audience, and as always, she's such much great fun. She's really reflecting on her own life, but as well like making jokes that are so relatable about we're in your house with Rammstein through with the task and to be quicker, and then she didn't sing Rammstein but something else, and was also, but it was nice because it was like twist and great jokes. And it's funny, after all this year I even remember what she joked the previous gig. I don't know, she has just a talent, know the right thing to say. And one example of a great interaction is as well when she was reading all these genres of metal, how much we have, and then she landed with, I think, Slayer, and it was super interesting how she covered with her quartet like a very heavier song, because before she did a heavier song, and I really loved it how the way she brought it out. And yeah, overall all these gigs she, and it was nice how she made these songs, and it was also interesting to see who she covered. She did, for example, Supercross, Devin Townsend, which she had a very great collaboration, and they're great friends, and I loved the way she brought this to the gig, her personal. But there was as well Mastodon, and another interesting thing were abroad people from Finland, and she made the interaction as well with this crowd, and there was some Finnish as well interaction. So it was really well timed with jokes and interactions. And apart from covering all these classical songs, it was very broad. She covered, I think, a few pop ones, a few rock ones, from metal as well, going from heavy to dress. So it was very broad. And then there was a surprise, as she covered one of her songs from Fear, a prog metal project, Helsinki, and I really loved it. and I would love to have heard some gathering as well. And it was a pity for me a bit that only this song was covered, as I would love to have heard the Gentle Celia previous band, which she was the singer of the gathering, as I think it would be a nice addition. But overall, I think the songs she picked, it was very great because in a way it built up nicely. There was some as well twists because each song was differently musically and really like showed the capabilities she has as a performer, as a singer. She's, I think, one of the best performer actually. And I really loved as well how she closed the gig, which was funny because in my previous adventure I heard this song Black Sabbath War Pigs, but I loved how Anneke gave a twist on her own and how she sings. It's really great how she played with her voice. With Love Is All Glover, like in a very happy little reference as well to Ronnie James Dio. Like overall the gig was so great because there was so much splatters of music, there was so much splatters of people, and was a totally different kind of vibe setting, and it's super interesting how each song was interpreted, but as well it showcased a whole totally different side of Anneke, being very instrumental driven, but at the same time being as well very vocalist, being a performer as well. So yes, she's such a great performer, and I really love how she make each of the shows her very own. It has this trademark, the jokes, the musicality, the arrangement, the way that the composition. It's one to see for sure. So stay tuned and support Anneke, and you have to be to the next one, as it will be totally different. So just take the essence, as the next one will completely surprise you. So see you.